Hey guys, what I'd like to do today is talk about the Sabrent Rocket 4 Plus 2TB drive, this Gen 4 NVMe SSD. So I've had this for about 6 months. I paid £400 for it from Amazon and I'm using it every single day. It's in my main PC and I use it to store video files, and I'm actually recording to that drive right now. So I did an unboxing at the time and I showed you me installing this drive into my main PC, but for the benefit of those of you who didn't see that, I'll quickly show you what's in the box. So you get this little basic manual, which I don't think most people who are watching this will need to refer to because you know how to install an SSD in your laptop or your computer, but I must admit it's one of the better ones as far as it doesn't, come in 50 different languages. It doesn't tell you anything that isn't relevant. It's quite straight to the point, showing you how to install it. So it's quite good. And I do like the kind of minimal packaging that they've got here. The drive itself comes in this little presentation box. It's kind of like a fancy cigarette holder or cigar holder or something. And the drive was sitting in there. So yeah, it's not a big thing. When you're buying a drive, obviously performance and price is the big issue. It's the big thing that you're looking for. But, it's a nice little setup that they've got there. Now, like I said, I bought this for £400 about 6 months ago. If you look on their official website, they say $500. But on Amazon.com right now, they're saying it is, you can see I've highlighted it, $469.98. And, I'd say Amazon is usually a good benchmark. Here in the UK, though, the price is a lot better. Coming from someone that's paid £400 for this drive, I'm quite surprised that it's selling right now for £329.99. Now, obviously, when you're looking to buy an SSD, and especially a 1 or 2 terabyte SSD, the market is quite competitive, and you'll be looking for performance, you'll be looking for endurance, but price is a big factor as well, and it will sway your decision. So right now, this is a good price, but as always, check the prices of other popular drives in the market. It could sway your decision, to go one way or the other. Like I said, this is a Gen 4 drive, and I won't bore you with all the details here, but it's a Gen 4 drive, and if you use this with a Gen 4 motherboard and a Gen 4 slot, you can get read speeds up to 7,100 megabytes per second, and write speeds up to 6,600 megabytes per second. Now, you can buy this for a Gen 3 board as well, and some of you might be thinking of doing that because maybe you're looking to upgrade your computer in a while and you're just upgrading some of the components. If you put this in a Gen 4 computer, a Gen 3 motherboard, you'll get read speeds up to 3,400 and write speeds up to 3,000. So you can see the performance does drop when you go from a Gen 4 board down to a Gen 3 board, but that is to be expected. Now, on the official specifications and the sales page here, I couldn't see anything about the endurance level, the terabytes written. But if you look online, you'll see that the endurance of the 1 terabyte version of this drive is 700 terabytes written. So 700 terabytes can be written to the drive. But for the 2 terabyte drive that I've got, it's 1400. Now, for those of you who don't know, 1400 is, I guess, middle of the road right now. I've got the 970 Evo Plus, and the 970 Evo Plus is a Gen 3 drive, but the 980 has got the same endurance as this, which is 1200. So 1400 terabytes written for this drive, the 2 terabyte version. It's actually better than what Samsung is offering. But in the meantime, over the last few months, I've also picked up 2 of these FireCuda 520 drives. And if you look here, the read and write speeds of these drives are 5,000 megabytes per second. But their endurance is 3,600, and 3,600 terabytes written is insane when you compare it to this. Now, Sabrent and other companies are realizing that some people want higher endurance levels, possibly because of Chia mining and cryptocurrency, but we are going to be seeing more drives coming out with higher endurance levels. Now, as far as why you would want that, well, you really want to get the right balance between speed and endurance, but certainly for me, I bought this for video editing, and that's why I wanted a fast drive, and that's why I wanted those speeds up to like 6,000, 7,000 megabytes per second. But endurance is a big issue too. Not just it's not just about speed. It's not just about the speed of reading and writing. Endurance is something you should be considering with video editing, especially because we're writing a lot of files, large files that are like 10 gigabytes, 50 gigabytes on a daily basis, and you can actually go through the health of the drive pretty quickly if you're doing so much reading and writing. So I don't think the endurance level of this drive is disappointing, but I would like to see it increased in future versions. And I give that same criticism to the Samsung drives as well. Now, when you buy this drive, you can see here that you can download Acronis True Image, and you might be aware of this software already. And this is a Sabrent page about it. It shows that you can back up your drive, you can clone your drive, you can clone it to another drive. That's an NVMe enclosure they're referring to there. And this software, it sells for $49.99. So you'll see lots of variations of this type of software out there, but this one can scan your drive, it can do backups, it can do cloning, it can do lots of different things. And what I would say about it is, when you buy a drive like this, getting software like that thrown in is quite good. Now, Samsung and some other companies use their own software for that. They've got, like Samsung Magician, etc. Sabrent have partnered with Acronis, and that software does sell for $50. I installed this software when I initially got it, but I ran some scans, I checked the health of the drive, etc., but I decided to remove the software. That's why I'm not showing you it all today. The reason is I used different software for cloning the drive, and then I found that I just wasn't using this software, and it was just something else in the background of Windows, using up CPU resources, using some memory that I really didn't have to have running. So I decided to remove it. Now, you don't have to use this, but it will, software like this can tell you the lifespan of your drive. It can tell you the health of your drive. If you don't install this like me, one thing that you should all do is update your firmware. You go to the update page and you just download the latest update, the latest firmware for the drive. Now, that's something that I did when I initially got the drive, but I did it again today because there was an update. So that's something that I went through and did today to make sure that I had the latest version, because I was obviously recording a video. So with regards to speed, I'm going to jump over to my monitor here, and I've got a few different benchmarking applications open here. Crystal Disk Mark is probably the most reliable in my opinion, but I'm not going to go into a big discussion about benchmarking. You will see varying different numbers, different numbers between different applications, different read and write speeds, and you also see different methods being used. And the results you see will vary depending on how much you're actually writing to the drive, whether you're testing for a 1080p drive, a 1080p file, 4K file, 8K file, etc. But they're quoting 7,100 for reading, up to 6,600 for writing. And you can see down here with Crystal Disk Mark, you're getting 6,200 roughly for reading and writing. And yes, that is below what is quoted. That is below what is quoted, but to me, that is impressive. That's really impressive in my opinion. That's fast. That's fast. And you will need an application that can, utilize that kind of speed, but that is impressive. And you can see over here with the Atto disk benchmark as well, when you go down here to the larger files, the lower file size, it's not really as relevant, I would say, certainly for what I do. But when you get to the larger file sizes, you can see it kind of tails off at 5.8 gigabytes per second, or 5,800 megabytes per second for reading and writing. So the numbers are a little bit lower there than Crystal Disk Mark, and it's the same with AGA video systems. Now, this big benchmark here, AGA system test, sorry, you can see the read and write speed. And I'm actually recording to this drive right now, so I'm not sure how reliable this is, but I would say that this particular benchmark, you can test lots of different things here, like a 4K RED file. It's arguably the most erratic. The test is quick, but it's highly erratic as far as, the results that come up. But you can see that even with AGA video systems system test, you're consistently getting over 5,000 megabytes per second, 5 gigabytes per second for reading and writing. So across the board, and again, you have to, I guess you can take an average, or you can go with the application you feel is the most reliable, but Yes, those speeds are lower than what is quoted, but those speeds are really, really impressive in my opinion as well. So I have used this drive. I have used the Sabrent Rocket drive for months. And if you subscribe to my channel, one of the issues that you might have seen or one of the issues that I discussed a few months ago was the board that I've got. So I've got a Gigabyte X570 board, and I use it with a Ryzen 5950X. And one of the issues that I had for months was that there was a major issue with bandwidth with Gen 4 drives, USB connections, and with Gen 4 drives and speeds. Now, the reason I'm pointing that out is my BIOS has been updated in my X570 board, and speeds, as you can see, speeds do seem to be okay now, but I have seen some articles talking about how certain Gen 4 drives are still not giving the best performance with X570 boards. That's what they're saying. I do not appear to be having that issue, but there are other people that have reported that they're getting slower performance with particular drives. Now, I don't think it's the case with the Sabrent drive, but if you've got an X570 board, an AMD board, there is a slight chance that you can run into this issue. Maybe not with the Sabrent, but maybe with other drives. It's not really relevant to this product right now, but it's something worth noting in case you're getting different results with this particular drive or with any other drive. I hope you've all enjoyed this look at the Sabrent Rocket 4 Plus. I've been using this drive every single day for about 6 months now, and I've been incredibly happy with its performance. It's not given me any problems. Over the last few years, I have turned to the Samsung Evo range for SSDs for laptops and for PCs, etc. But as I showed, this does have a slightly higher endurance level. Not as high as what you would see with the Seagate drives that are out right now, but the endurance level is not bad at all. It's more than acceptable. And where this really shines is performance. As you saw there, I was getting like 6,000 megabytes per second for reading and writing pretty consistently. And for someone like myself, that is important. You'll see a lot of people out there, and I've seen this in Discord forums as well, where people say no one needs a Gen 4 drive. It's, nothing takes advantage of it. But the people that are saying that are normally talking about gaming. And yes, if you're gaming, you can stick to a Gen 3 drive. That will do you. But if you're video editing or using any kind of application that can take advantage of these higher read and write speeds, then, well, the Sabrent Rocket 4 Plus is for you. Bear in mind, there are variations of this drive out there. There is a non-plus version. And like I was saying, whenever you're buying an SSD, whether it's from Samsung, Sabrent, Seagate, Western Digital, whoever, there's not a lot between these drives sometimes, as far as performance and, as far as endurance level. So for me, the deciding factor beyond the warranty, etc., is the price. The price. If you can get a good warranty with all of these drives and the performance level is similar and the endurance level is similar, go with the drive that's cheapest. That's what I would recommend. But thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you get any questions, please do leave a comment below. And until next time, take care.